All right, this is my first TRX4m build. I'm Simon. This is Forever Young RC. Just like the title says, we're gonna do this from the ground up. The reason I decided to do this, I don't have a TRX4m yet. I did want one because, you know, they're a little bigger. So what I decided is just to build one from the ground up. But my overall reason for doing this, I really wanted to check out the size difference. It really looks considerably bigger. I'm very excited to get this build going. Okay, I put a few more items up here on the table. I'm gonna go through what I'm gonna build this with real quick. And I really need your opinion on something. I honestly do, and I would like for you to comment on it down in the comment section. And I'll tell you what that is in just a minute. First, I'm gonna go over the body and cage, the MEUS. Everybody knows the MEUS. I love them, one of my favorites. This is it. So, as I do with a lot of my cages, I went ahead and I painted it up. Got my drivers painted in there. They're looking pretty spectacular in there. So like I said, it is much larger. What I can say is I'm not sure about is this fastener right here on the body and how it fastens down. I get the idea what they're trying to do, but it seems kind of difficult to get your fingers up in there, and it gets fiddly and try to get it off. That's not that big a deal. What I'm gonna use to power this thing, because it's really what I have right now, but I have my mind set on another item. It's the motor in ESC. Endura's coming out with one. It's a 380 brushless motor, an ESC combo. Hopefully it'll be out at the end of this month. But right now I have this. I've got the Purple Viper and Endura setup. I've got the MEUS isokinetic axles. Also got some skid plates in here. Got my Endura links, and I'm gonna do the Endura shocks. Going to also install a good old Endura servo on here, coreless servo. This is what I wanted your knowledge on. What experience, if any at all, have you had with the transmission in these? The 2-speed MEUS transmission really caught my eye, so I went ahead and bought it. I wanted to see and was hoping that it would have enough high speed to really get that speed kicked up there, but hoping the low gear in it set me back down low so I could crawl on some trails. This sticks up a lot here, so I would have to cut out a lot of the center of the drivers, but I thought, well, maybe I could put this up in there and get it painted in such a way that it would kind of look like some type of screen or something up there. You know how race car drivers, man, they have everything. Their cockpit is all decked out with all kind of stuff. I thought I might be able to camouflage that and make it look cool. However, just right now with this build, what I've done, I've bought the clear Endura transmission for this. And I think this gearing is a little lower than stock, so this is not a 2-speed, and this will fit right up in there. It'll go without me having to do any modification. It's nice and small, and I don't know, for some reason I thought I'd just try the clear one. It looks pretty cool, shows the internal gears. I've never really had one pull off the body and be able to see this stuff, but I thought I'd give one a try. I did get some other MEUS gears, high range gears to put in here to get this swapped out. But you have to completely drop the skid out of here, pull it down, and pull everything apart to change transmissions. It's a small job to do. So I think now I'm just gonna go with the single speed transmission. I don't know whether to send this back or not. If you have any experience with these, please give me a shout, give me a comment, and let me know how you like it, if you would recommend it. I mean, I know it's gonna be a good product, but let me know how the gearing is with this. Because before I do any real cutting, I wanna know if I really wanna put this in there or I just need to send it back. So I really appreciate you guys coming to my channel. If you like it, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. In the meantime, we're gonna start getting all this stuff built. When I get it built, we're going to talk about it a little bit, tell you what I like, tell you some pros, tell you some cons, and then we're going to go outside and test it on Cul-de-sac Canyon. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. Let's get it. Okay, I've got it done. I've got it built. Now let's get it on the scales, see how much it weighs. Then let's get it on the crawler park setup board to see what kind of angles it can pull. Okay, let's see right here what we're going to get on the setup board for the TRX4m, the new build, 45, 50, 50, about 55. All right, let's compare the SCX24. 45, 50, about 52. Let's see what we get on an uphill incline. 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. Oh, about 66 or 67. Wow, that surprised me. Let's see what we get on the first one I ever built, the SCX24. 45, 50, 55, 60, about 61 or 62, about the same thing. Now we'll get a little comparison on what kind of flex it has. 15, good, good. That's good. 17, 18. Oh, wow. 19. Oh, at 21, it's just off, the back's just off the ground. Over to 20. Wow, about 20. Some pretty good flex. And of course, I expected this one to have more flex than the other one. It does have, you know, the shocks are longer, the vehicle is larger. This one, I do have my shock modification in it, kind of like the Desert Lizard. So this one only gets about 13, I think. It's not meant to be all flexed out. About 12 and a half, 13. Yeah, that's about it. But it's a smaller truck with smaller shocks. That's the way it goes. All right, that's a great comparison on the Crawler Park setup board. Okay, that was pretty good, pretty respectable. Now let's do a quick size comparison just so you guys can see this, these side by side, just how much larger the 18th scale is. Being a bit larger, it's gonna give you overall better track width and length, so it's gonna be more stable on uphill and side hills. Now, some of the pros that I really liked and enjoy about building this was having a little bit bigger of bolts and screws. Makes it so much easier to work on. And the SCX24, it's just difficult getting your hands in there and working with those small, tiny bolts. Also, this is the first time I have worked with the Injora shocks, the little bit large one, in quite some time. And let me say, Injora has came an extremely long way from just say a year ago or a year and a half ago. What that says to me is they're really listening to their customers and what they have to say on these videos, because this shock is built more like a traditional, regular, a larger scale built shock. Meaning, one thing is you can get the spring off of there by just pulling the retainer off and then sliding the spring off. And with this, the power plant that I chose to put in there, I don't know if you can see that, was the Injora brushless system. We'll check that out, see how well it's going to work in here. I think it'll work out pretty well, usually does. Now, the biggest con that I have for this thing is the battery placement. The battery placement is so tough in here, especially if you want to get a 3S in here. I chose to do away with the traditional battery placement, which is right back up under here, but in order to get the battery a little more far forward, is I decided to go ahead and try to locate the battery where we would usually locate the battery, on one of the side plates here. And I'll put up a picture. There's a couple of uneven spots down in this one, and I just put some servo tape down there to kind of flatten it out. Then I can put my Velcro in there. I put the ESC on this side, and I did that the same way, and it seems to work out pretty well. And another thing I did, I clipped out these two cage placements. It's not going to make any structural integrity difference on this. It's fine without it, so I can reach my fingers and get my fingers in there much easier to get the battery in and out, because it's pretty tough. And I understand there's not a lot of places that you can put the battery. MEUS had to come up with something, so that's just what they did. But you want to be able to get your battery in and out of the vehicle so you can charge it out of the vehicle. Because if there's ever a LiPo fire, it's going to burn down your vehicle. All right, enough talking. Let's get this thing out on the course, see what it's got. All right, that was another fun one. Had a really good time. I think I'm going to enjoy these 18th scale builds very much because, like I said, they're just a little larger and a little easier to get to. Hit me up in the comment. Let me know if you have any experience with these, which one you prefer, or if you've tried them side by side, the 18th scale versus the 24th scale. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap this up. In the meantime, keep being a good human. And I have another video and a playlist here that I want you to go check out.